Pawtucket Mayor Don Grebien. He's in the news a lot for a lot of different reasons. Mayor Grebien, good to see you again.
Gene, great to be here, and thank you. I appreciate the opportunity, and it's great to see the viewers.
Before we get into the stadium and everything else going on in your city, you had a water main break just the other day. It was in the news, and the fire truck went down into the sinkhole. Listen, water mains can be repaired, and fire trucks can be repaired, but what does this say about the infrastructure of a city like yours? Those are old pipes, Mayor.
We have that concern. We're very fortunate where we have some federal dollars that have come in. We're looking at those infrastructure investments. Our water pipes are basically new because we have our own water treatment facility, and 90% of the pipes are brand new. This one here, it was an older line. I think it was actually still wood. It was one of the ones to be done. So we're already doing the due diligence on replacement through the Water Supply Board. But it is an issue that we have to take seriously. As elected officials, sometimes we forget what's under the ground, right? Because it doesn't look pretty, right? But it's a responsibility we have, and we've been really aggressive on that.
So that one was an older one.
It was an older one.
You have other older ones.
Yeah. The Water Supply Board, who does a great job, they've upgraded, like I said, 90% of our pipes. This one here, they went in. I don't know if they're replacing it or repairing it. I haven't talked to the director today, but I heard that they think they might have to replace it. So they've got the temporary patch. There was work going on, and we don't know if that shifted. We just did some street paving on that street, of course. We're not sure what created the leak, but they're dealing with it.
And that's so much of what you do. Infrastructure, things you don't see. Potholes, pipes, stuff like that.
It's all quality of life. That's the first and foremost, right? So you're making sure your trash gets picked up, making sure people have quality life services, right? Rescue, fire, police, and all of those things.
Small things, but then there's the big thing. Now, you lost the Red Sox, Paw Sox. Everybody knows that. You lamented that, and that's old news. They're playing up in Worcester. You want to bring in a soccer team to play in a new stadium by your waterfront, which is right as you go north, right in the side of the bridge over there. You got a stretch of land over there where the water comes in between. Can you save that? Because the developer says, I need 30 million more. Where's it coming from?
So quick story, and narrow as I can, right? We started with a much larger gap with the inflationary costs, and we did the value engineering down, got it down to 30 million. They put in another 25 million already to get it down to the 30. As you know, we've been having the process. We've been meeting with the governor and the Commerce Board. There are conversations going on. The governor is committed to the project, and we're just trying to make sure that everybody's comfortable and the numbers match. So we're doing the due diligence right now. Right now, as it stands, there's 20 million that we have the TIF legislation, tax incremental financing. So the funding would come out of that district we have. It would not all be state taxpayers' money. It's not existing revenue, it's mostly new incremental revenue, and that's what people get concerned or confused about. It's still taxpayers' money, but...
I understand. You know the deal very well.
Too much.
But let's make it really understandable for someone just listening. The guy who wants to build a stadium, put a soccer team, and he says, I need 30 million because everything's gone up. With the pandemic, supplies, metal, wood, my supplies. And Governor McKee is saying, okay, maybe we can push some of the other money we had allocated for the ancillary development. We'll push it to the stadium. That's 20 million, get it built first. And you told me the city would borrow 10 million to give them the 30. Is that risky, Mayor?
Yeah, I mean, it's all risky, but it's more than a stadium, and that's what the value is it's really about the development. It's about the waterfront access for us. It's about getting 400 and some odd units of residential, commercial, retail. It's all market-driven, and market-driven right now is residential. We think that it's a great opportunity to tie it into the affordability of home ownership and getting access there. And then and this is where people get skeptical because it's a stadium, right? It's not just a stadium. The stadium is the draw that gets, the butts in the seats, as they say, that bring people down to the waterfront. It's having that active zone. I said it's not compatible to Foxborough, if you think about it, but it's a smaller version where we'd have some, our Federal Hill. Just like you would have in Providence. This would become our destination.
And Foxborough's got the professional team already, and they want to put more people in the seats. Do you think a soccer team is going to fill your stadium?
Yeah, I mean, they've done the analysis. We've done all of that. We've had professionals in. They have CSL as one of the contractors they know. We've had Stiefel, not only on the numbers, but on the seats. And it was interesting because originally we were talking about doing 7,500 seats. But the market studies that they have with the USL support, they're committed. Brett Johnson has those ownership rights or the USL rights. We went from 7,500 to 10,000 because of the draw.
You're supporting Governor McKee, so you must have said, look, you got to help me with this. He's told me on the radio it's a 70-30 chance of getting passed.
Yeah, I think we're better than that now. Governor's put the new team together. Right? We had the Secretary of Commerce is now running for office, is out of it. They have Liz Tanner in a group, and they're doing their due diligence. We've done all our due diligence, and sometimes we as a city and the developer had forgotten, we've already been through the stages. We've got runs on numbers and we've got all that information. So I'm excited that he's taking the initiative and the leadership, putting it with the Commerce Board, and we'll be giving them all that, the data that supports it.
This is something new. Hasbro has been in your city, the headquarters, for years and years. You want to keep them there.
Yeah.
There was talk a couple of years ago, they're leaving, they're going, then they'll kind of died out. We went through the pandemic. There's a change in leadership there. What are you hearing from Hasbro?
So we've done some outreach. We haven't had meetings. We're setting up meetings over the next couple of months. And they're very private. They're a private company, and that's always been I live a public life like Eugene, so they're a very private company. I'm not sure. We don't get any indication that they're leaving at all. They've consolidated a lot of their operations into the building in Pawtucket, where they were outgrowing it. I think with working from home models all changing, I think every business is rethinking itself. So we will have some further conversation with them, but there's no indication that they're leaving at all. So
Nellie Grebien put out in her commercial, says, I'll tax big corporations. There's not that many of them.
Right.
But Hasbro is one of them. Are you concerned about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tax them right out?
And Nellie, who I have a great working relationship, and I get sometimes the politics of a stance, but this time the state is flush with money right now. They had a surplus. I get that it sends a message to the Democrats that we're all trying to go to and say, how do we, go after big corporate? Hasbro isn't a big corporate egregious company, right, that people think about it. So to go out and have to tax them is concerning. I think we can balance that through. I understand why she did that. I just don't think it's the right thing, especially, in my community. We were able to do another no tax increase this year because of the federal dollars and strong management. It's still investing. We're still able to invest in the quality. We have those responsibilities to do that. I get the messaging of big corporate, but I just don't think it's right for the state right now.
We've got about a minute left. We could go down a laundry list. What do you agree with Governor McKee on? What do you disagree? I'm sure you don't agree with everything.
No, absolutely, right? But sorry, go ahead.
But I want to end on a positive note. You've got big development going on with a train station in your city. It's right next to Central Falls, and that's going to bring people and commuters and money and stores. Take the last word.
So we're already seeing, and that's a great opportunity, but we're already seeing the investment in rehabbing the mill buildings around there. They're out there renovating, doing rental, right? Our big challenge in the city of Pawtucket is we want to make sure the right development is happening, and it is, and then we want to balance the affordability to make sure that we're not boxing our Pawtucket people out. But that becomes an active zone. We've got the brewery out there. We have another piece of property out there, 258 Pine Street, that we're looking for development. Pawtucket is going to be, it is the gateway into Rhode Island with the soccer, with that development. There's opportunity in there, and it's, unfortunately, because of pricing, there is gap filler. And so my position has been, listen, just treat me in Pawtucket half as good as you do in the capital in Providence, and we'll be all right and be much more successful.